So today's devotion is titled Stubborn Faith. And we're on day 224 of 365 days of walking through the Bible alphabetically, and we are on August the 12th. And today's morning rinse, which is the passage of scripture to read if you're following along on this path, is Luke 16 through 18. And the featured verse that I'm pulling out from that is Luke 17:5. The apostles said to the Lord, "Increase our faith." So right before the apostles made this request to Jesus, Jesus tells them to forgive. And my guess is that they are asking for more faith to have the power to forgive. So if someone sins 7 times in a day and asks 7 times for forgiveness, Jesus wants us to keep forgiving. And this can be very challenging, and it can take more faith than what we have in and of itself inside of us, or in and of ourselves rather. So I believe that the apostles asked Jesus for what I call stubborn faith, which is why I titled today's devotion Stubborn Faith. Multiple times in today's morning rinse, the message of stubborn faith is embedded in the stories if you look for it. Repeatedly, forgiving someone takes stubborn faith, especially when it logically does not make sense. Other words that help describe what stubbornness looks like are tenacious, perseverance, and determination. And these traits can be needed while forgiving someone who repeatedly behaves in offensive or sinful ways. Oftentimes we think of stubbornness as a bad trait, but it also is tenacious, perseverance, and determination. So we must stay the course. Even though there's repeated offenses, we have to stay the course and remain focused on what Jesus asks of us. And we also read today in today's morning rinse about the 10 men with leprosy. It was in chapter 17, verse 11 through 19. And they were probably outside the city due to their condition. And so when they saw Jesus, they yelled out to him for healing. And despite what others might have said to silence those men, they kept yelling until they got his attention. Being stubborn can be uncomfortable because it can take us outside of our comfort zone, what we're used to doing and how we're used to behaving. But having stubborn faith can actually cause God to hear our cries. Just like these 10 men, they had stubborn faith. They were persevering in that moment. And this parallels the story of the widow who kept going to the judge for legal protection. And at first, the judge did not fear God and was not interested in helping her. But she is another example of stubborn faith and would not give in to him. And the judge even admitted that she might wear him out with her persistence in chapter 18, verse 5. Jesus wants us to go to him and to not give up in our requests. He wants us to have stubborn faith for our situation. It wears the enemy out and moves mountains. Among the multiple stories that we read in today's morning rinse, we close out with the blind beggar who also had stubborn faith. And this man cried out to Jesus for mercy, and those around him were sternly telling him to be quiet, but he continually cried out for mercy from Jesus. And that was in chapter 18, verses 35 through 43. We are to keep forgiving, to keep on asking, to keep on seeking, and to keep on knocking. And if all these people we read about today, with the odds stacking against them for healing and attention from Jesus, if they all can have stubborn faith, then we can too for our situations. So will Jesus find stubborn faith in you? Today's challenge to dig deeper is to ask yourself, what do you need stubborn faith for? Is it to forgive someone, like one of the examples that we read about today? Is it to keep asking God for provision for something? Is it for healing? Is it for direction? Ask God for some of that stubborn faith, and then go to Him with your situation and determine in your heart to be stubborn and to have stubborn faith. That is your challenge. So when you pull out your journal and are reflecting on your day today with this conversation that you've been having with God, what did you learn about your faith today? Did you need some more faith? Did you need to, portray some stubborn faith in a situation? Do you now have stubborn faith that you didn't have before? Was it persistent? I'm excited to hear about your examples of stubborn faith. And I look forward to continually walking on this journey here with you. I love the book of Luke. And so if you do not have my devotion or my devotional, there is a link in the show notes. And if you need a journal, a companion journal to go with it, that link is also in the show notes. And so until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.